Question from Nathan Flesher on Twitter. Is Zach Wilson so good that you would advise the Houston Texans to prioritize trading Watson to the Jets in a package that would include the pick, allowing the Texans to get Wilson for themselves?
Yeah, well, I guess yes. I mean, Deshaun Watson's doesn't want to be there. I mean, that's very apparent now. I mean, Zach Wilson, when I say he's Rodgers and Mahomes, that's, I think he's the damn man right there. So, yes, he's worth that. But, what is going to be the other aspects of that trade again, too? That's what you'd have to figure out. And are the Jets, I don't know. That's an interesting proposition. And I'd have to kind of look at and figure that out, what that trade value would be exactly to figure that. Because really, Mike, when you think about that, okay, the Texans, where they're picking, they're going to have to trade up. Of course, they're trading a proven commodity for a guy who, yes, we don't know about yet, but, I think is special. And, of course, he costs a lot less money, too, than Deshaun Watson. So there's that aspect of it. So I'd have to work out kind of the trade particulars there to try to figure that out. But it's an interesting thought nonetheless. My big thing with the Jets, just as you always have heard, there's just so many holes on the roster. I don't want to see them give up, the kitchen sink and the house and everything just to get one guy. And then we're sitting here, hey, we got one guy who's a superstar, but we got a lot of crap around him again. And that's where I think, the Jets got to be careful because they got a lot of holes to fill on that team.
And remember this, it's not the second overall pick. It's trading for Zach Wilson
player.
Or Trevor Lawrence,
right.
Worst case scenario. So that changes the value. That changes the dynamic. And if the Texans happen to fall in love with Zach Wilson, and really whatever the Texans do, if they give in to Deshaun Watson's trade demand, they need to have a quarterback moving forward.
Right.
And if Nick Caserio starts watching a bunch of Zach Wilson film and reacts the same way you did, all of a sudden there's a potential strategy for giving Watson what he wants. You get Zach Wilson, and maybe you don't need to give up as much other stuff if you're the Jets.
Yeah.
If Caserio falls in love with Wilson, of course, then it becomes the poker game of bluffing and keeping your cards close to the vest and not acting like you love a guy that you truly love. That's a big part of the silly but very real aspect of the draft. You act like you don't like the guys you like, and you act like you like the guys you don't. But that's part of it, because it's no longer the second overall pick once it becomes cemented that it's Zach Wilson. You're trading Zach Wilson, not just some nameless, faceless pick in a draft.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, you think if you're making that trade, you're making it to, we want this guy, a la like the Eagles did with Carson Wentz back in the day, right? They made a move. They had the information that the Rams were going to go Goff, and okay, we're trading up to go to this and get this guy. It's an interesting conversation, and it's a very good question. And what the value of that is, I don't know. I'd have to kind of think about that a little bit because I'm just seeing this question myself here as we sit down and do this. But, man, I'm excited for what the Jets have in front of them. I really am, because of all those options we've talked about. Listen, I'm a Giants fan here in New York. I'm not the kind of Giants fan that, hates the New York Jets. I don't. And, of course, with Robert Saleh coming from, Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers, I'm rooting for him. And I've liked a lot of what Joe Douglas has done, too. So I'm excited to see how they approach this. And, yeah, they're gonna have to play chess here in this one. And it's going to be one of the themes of the offseason. And in that aspect, the Deshaun Watson trade to the Jets maybe is not dead when you talk about it like that, to where I would have gone, no, you don't do that, don't do it. But there, like you said, it might lessen the value to where you don't have to give up too much to do it. And it's an interesting angle to kind of wrap your head around.
One key aspect of that conversation is Deshaun Watson has to
buy in
to play for the Jets,
right,
and waive his no-trade clause. I always thought Giants fans didn't care about the Jets because they weren't threatened by the Jets, because the Jets perennially stink.
Well, yeah, I think that's fair.
If they were good, you'd have a different feeling
Maybe
about it. If
yeah.
they'd won 4 Super Bowls since 1986 and you're waiting for your second one after 50
exactly.
years, you'd feel differently about the Jets.
Probably. You're exactly right. It's a little bit like the Yankees and the Mets. I don't hate the Mets because they're not a threat to the Yankees at all. I go, no, I hate the Red Sox. I don't care about the Mets. And Pete's booing me. Yeah, Pete, sorry. Poor life decision by you in choosing the Mets. I don't know what you did there. But
I think is Pete the only New Yorker who likes the Giants and the Mets?
It's
I thought
a rare
it was Giants,
combo.
Yankees, or Jets, Mets.
It's a rare
right?
combo. Yeah, it is a rare combo. There's a few every now and then, and of course, it would be Pete who does that. Yes, I mean, of course, that's him. That makes sense.
The Matt Casey chimes in. At least we have a soul. So
Good, okay.
he is Mets, Jets.
He is.
I'm trying to keep all this straight.
Right.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.